really simple video tips, because video is such a powerful, powerful platform, and I want to get more people using it, because it's still, it's still really a small community that really use not just Periscope, but YouTube, Facebook Live, and just video on Facebook effectively, and it's such a powerful tool, and I'm going to share some of that with you here in a minute. So again, say your name as you're coming in. Would love to know that you are joining on. Sometimes my chat seems to stop, so you can give hearts. That's just tapping the screen. That lets me know that you can hear me, for one. Two, appreciate what you're hearing, which is always nice to know when you're on here. Amanda Hines, welcome. Definitely good to have you here, so I appreciate that for sure. Julia, and you're in Southern California too. We're in Southern California. I'm up in Ventura, so I'm the very top of SoCal, if you will. Okay, so we will go ahead and get started. And like I said, we've got Philadelphia in the house too. And see, we've had Puerto Rico. Anybody else outside the U.S.? Would love to know if we have a global audience. Oh, Temecula. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I used to live in Lake Arrowhead. I know Temecula well. Those wineries are kind of fun, I will say. So yeah, very awesome. Okay, we've got Allen, Texas. Very cool. Moreno Valley. We've got plenty. California is well represented. San Bernardino. Awesome. Yeah, I was right up in Lake Arrowhead, just right up above you in those lovely mountains for a long, long time. So it's very cool. Yeah, so we're going to talk today about video marketing and just some basic tips. My name's Jackie Elmer. For those of you who don't know me, you can learn more about me over at JackieElmer.com. Very, very simple. You can pick up my free report that gives you my 25 top lead sources online. How I've sponsored nearly 2,000 people online, people who came to me. Talks a little bit about attraction marketing, really how to set yourself up on social media to be a success, because it is, a fabulous way to expand your reach outside of your local market. And there are definitely some tips and tricks and things you'll want to learn on how to do that. And that's really what we're talking about today. We're talking about video marketing and the power that video marketing has to help you do that. It really is a great platform. And as I said when we very first started, but some of you are just coming in, video marketing is one of those things that still very few people are using. And one of the biggest reasons is because people are intimidated by the camera. That's the biggest part of it. And here's the first thing that I want to tell you about that. If you'll learn to just get comfortable with the camera, even though you're staring at this, little tiny little round circle that doesn't give you any feedback and doesn't even really, it's not even like it lights up and looks at you. But if you will learn to use that tool, look at that tool as just a friend, pretend that you're sitting down at Starbucks just having a conversation, because that's really what you're doing. Periscope actually kind of makes it easier once you get over the angst of the fact that you're live. When you think about it, when you sit down and have a conversation with someone, everything's not going to be perfect. Your hair, it's not going to be perfect. You may have some areas that are sticking up. You may have spinach in your teeth, different things like that. Hopefully not. But that's how video marketing is too. We're all real live human beings. So if we can just have a conversation, let it flow, and not be all caught up in ourselves and worried about having everything perfectly right, you can really rock video marketing. And it's kind of funny, if you will go in and watch Periscope, if you'll get on YouTube and watch a lot of YouTube channels, you will see that they're just ordinary people. Sometimes they stumble over their words just like they would if you were sitting down at Starbucks. Like I said, no one's perfect. Sometimes they have, a little hair that gets on their nose that they have to brush off. That's okay too. If you were face to face, those things would happen. Sometimes, we get our words confused, we lose our place, whatever. So begin to just look at the camera as your friend, one person who you're sitting down with having a conversation. All right, give me hearts if you think you can do that, or if you're at least willing to try. Even if you trash the videos, even if you make a few videos and you don't keep them, what's the challenge in that? There's lots of times that I start and then I get all tongue twisted and I have to hit stop. Now, not on Periscope, obviously, because you're going live. But it's like anything, once you just get going with it and get comfortable, you will do an amazing job. And so I really want to encourage you to do that. Okay, so I'm going to share, other than looking at the camera, that's my first tip. Just look at the camera as your friend that you're sitting down with, and that'll be cool. And then I'm going to share 4 other tips for you to help you. So hopefully you have a pen and paper. The first one is to schedule and batch your time. Now this is more specifically if you're creating videos for Facebook, if you're creating videos for YouTube, creating videos for a blog, and not live streaming. Because live streaming, obviously, you can schedule the time, but you can't batch it together. And what I mean by batching is that it's very common for me. I will sit down with anywhere from 4 to 8 topics that I'm going to shoot video on, and I block out that time, and literally in about 30 minutes to an hour, I can do anywhere from 4 to 8 videos and get them all done. And so I batch that time, I plan for it, I get up, I shower, I get my makeup on, I do my hair just right. Guys, you may not have to worry about that so much, but let's face it, as women, that's kind of who we are, and that's okay. But I batch that time out, I get prepared, and then I only have to make sure that I have a good hair day, one day, or, that I get my makeup on right and all that type thing, and that I get out of my yoga pants, get out of my PJs, all that fun stuff that we know is a fun part of marketing on social media, is that you definitely get to do that. So you want to batch that time first and foremost. That's how you really make the most of it. And literally, if you can create 4 to 8 pieces of video, different video, think about how you can leverage that content. You can upload that to YouTube. You can upload it to your Facebook business page. You can take that YouTube embed link and you can put it on a blog post. You can tweet it out on Twitter repeatedly, assuming that it's evergreen content. When you take that time, let's say you take an hour and let's say you create 8 videos. Let's say you create 6 videos, okay? 10 minutes a piece. A little less than that, actually. You want your videos to be about 3 minutes typically. So let's say you get 8 done in an hour. That would be 24 minutes of video roughly. And that hour that you spent doing that is an hour that you leverage that will create leads, create interest, create viewers, create all different types of things for you over and over and over again. I mean, I still laugh. I go back and look at videos that I created years ago that the views on them still continue to grow because people are finding them. They're going to Google and they're typing in keywords and they're finding YouTube videos. They're going into YouTube and they're typing in keywords and they're finding specific videos. So that's the beauty of how you can really leverage video marketing. And there's something about video marketing. I mean, think about it. When you watch someone on video, like we are here, or even on a YouTube, there's a bit more authenticity about it than just reading written words on a blog. I mean, let's face it, you can pretend to be anybody you want on a blog, right? But in terms of video, your authentic self comes through a whole lot more intensely than it does in the written word. You almost can't lie on video. I mean, some people can, but it's a little bit more difficult. So video really allows you to create more of a bond, more of that authenticity with people, and that is truly powerful. Okay, so tip number 1 is to batch your time, schedule your time. Now, the second part of that is to really prepare your space then for that. Get your house all cleaned up, get your desk straightened up, which I had to do, get your lighting right, get everything situated so that you're good to go during that time. And again, you only have to do that once and it'll show up on all those different videos. So that's number 2, prepare your space, everything that you need, get your tripod or your iPad stand or whatever it is that you're using. That's all I'm using. I've just got a simple little stand that I've got propped up here that I just set my iPad on. I think it's about an $8 stand. It folds up compact. I can travel with it. It's super simple to take with me anywhere. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is have your script. And you keep seeing me look. So here's my script written down. I actually have it taped. You can't see it, but I have it taped right here. But I wanted to write a second one. The lights maybe, there you go. But you can see my simple tips. So don't worry about if you have to glance down occasionally. That's okay. Again, you're not auditioning for American Idol. You're sharing good information with people. You want to stay on task. Sometimes you have it memorized. Sometimes you don't need that, but nothing wrong with putting it on bullet points and then tape it, right out in front. I mean, I could literally set this right here. I can see it dead on and it's propped up on my iPad, and yet it doesn't show up on the camera. So you can make it very simple to where your eyes aren't constantly moving around. They're literally almost right there. It's so simple with your phone or an iPad to be able to do that. So that's tip number 3. And then tip number 4, again, more for the ladies, set out your wardrobe, prepare your wardrobe for what you're going to wear. I typically will wear one color underneath, like maybe a black or a white, and then I layer that with different blazers and jackets and tops and different things. I even do jewelry change a lot of times. Although it's kind of funny, the more that I've been doing this, the more I find the less inclined I am to do that. The more inclined I just stay in my same clothes. But occasionally I will, depending on what I'm doing, what kind of series, the brand message that I want to send, and that kind of thing. So it's really 5 tips. I'm going to recap those and then we'll open it up for questions. Tip number 1 is to treat the camera like your friend. Alexis said hi. Hi, Alexis. Awesome. Treat the camera like your friend. That's tip number 1. It's not a camera that's broadcasting you out to the whole world. It could be, but pretend like it's not. It's just a friend who you're sitting down with having coffee. So that's number 1. Treat your camera like a friend. Tip number 2, batch your time. Schedule your time. Put it on the calendar, block it out so that you can really crank out a number of pieces of content all at one time. If you've got small children at home and at the time that you can get them out of the house, or have a teenager come over and play with them, or a preteen, those are great to have them come in, pay them a little bit for an hour or two to come and play with your kids, and they don't even think they have a babysitter, and that really gives you the time to do what you need to do. And then the second part is, or the third tip is, prepare your space. Get everything prepared. Clean up, do what you need to do, get your lighting set up, prepare your space. Number 4 is have your script. Know what you're going to say. Have your little bullet points written down so that you are prepared with what it is that you need to say. And then number 5 is, if you're going to do wardrobe change, have that prepared too. You can have it right over, behind where your camera is, set to go, to where you can just kind of change things out if you want to create a little different look for your brand and that type thing. So those are my simple tips for video marketing to really take your direct sales, network marketing, and any type of home business to the top. I will tell you that when I was tracking it, probably about 2 to 3 years ago, I was really tracking it, and seriously, about 60% of my leads were coming into me from YouTube videos. And I know that because I would ask people, or they would fill out a form on my website that would ask them, how did you hear about me? And YouTube was by far the popular choice. And when I would get into a phone conversation or even email conversation, I would ask people, I always ask, I try to track as best I can to know where my marketing efforts are paying off. And time again, it came back, oh, I saw a YouTube video, I saw a YouTube video, I saw a YouTube video. That's when I really started taking notice. It was like, wow, YouTube is really powerful. And again, even today, it's still a pretty unused platform by and large. It's not nearly as saturated. I don't like to use that word, but it's not nearly as full as, say, Facebook, Twitter, and some of those other platforms. So definitely get your video marketing going. All right, so I would love to open it up for any questions or comments if you have any. And give me some hearts, someone. I just want to see that you can still, okay, all right, Julia's on there, cool. How many videos a week would you post on a Facebook business page? Honestly, there's nothing wrong with posting one a day. Really nothing wrong with posting one a day. We know that Facebook is somewhat in direct competition with YouTube. They really are. Now here's another tip. You want to upload your video straight to Facebook. You don't want to upload it to YouTube and then use a YouTube link on your Facebook page. Nothing wrong with, you still want to upload it to YouTube, but you want to go ahead and upload it specifically to Facebook too, so that it's stored there. It's not just a link, and Facebook is going to give it a whole lot more playtime than if you would just put in a YouTube link, because they're direct competitors. I mean, Google owns YouTube. So, and Facebook is really a direct competitor of Google in many, many ways. So you want to upload it directly to Facebook. But the reality of it is, I believe that you can't overdo it. I mean, maybe if you posted one every hour, that might be too much, but I think one a day is fine. Is it taboo to mention your products, or better to keep it generic? It depends on what your marketing plan is. So sometimes I'm creating videos specifically for my primary company. And in that case, I talk about my products, I showcase my products, I demo my products. And when I'm marketing in that way, it's very product specific. In this particular instance, I'm doing a generic Periscope, so I'm not going to be talking about my particular products. Now, occasionally, it's the best way you can educate someone. And I always figure we're grown-ups. Like, I'm not going to bombard you with my primary opportunity or my products, but we're all adults. It doesn't take much to go on Google and find out who somebody's with, or go to their blog or whatever. You can find out people's primary company these days pretty simple. So I'm not going to, play a bunch of games. And occasionally, the best way for me to show someone how I would do something is with my own product, my own opportunity, and then of course say, you use the right language, use the right analogies that are going to fit for your particular product. But my goal is just to give you some ideas of what I do with it. Substitute your product, your opportunity in place. What you don't want to do is do nothing but video marketing that's specifically a pitch for your product or opportunity, unless you're doing, for instance, a Facebook event where you're doing an opportunity event or that type thing. In that case, absolutely, that's what you're there for. So just know what your intent is, know who your audience is, and that will help you determine what the best mix of that's going to be: generic, product specific, company specific, that type thing. Okay, I missed that last question. I think it was something about Periscope and Facebook Live. You bet, Nikki. Great question. Thanks. If you'll post that again, I think it was a question about which one to use or whether to do both. So if you want to put that back in there, which one is better? You know what? There's not a better or worse. There really isn't. The best of anything is the thing that fits best for you. Some people hate Facebook. They prefer, Periscope or Twitter or whatever. My feeling is I love them both. I love both Facebook and Periscope. And I have not done Facebook Live yet. I'm about to, and it's kind of funny. Today I thought, well, maybe I'll set them up and simulcast and do them both at the same time. But I think I'm not going to do that for my first Facebook Live, but I'll be doing it here in the next couple of days for sure. But I love Facebook. I absolutely love Facebook. I could, spend all day there, really and truly. So, for me, Facebook resonates. It's just each individual person. I think sometimes the hesitancy some people have of using Facebook Live is that they feel like more of their true friends, they're not true friends, but they're real life friends, like people we really know, our neighbors, our family, our friends from high school, or friends from work, that kind of thing. Most of us feel like, and it's true, more of our friends in the real world are there on Facebook, and sometimes we have a hesitancy for what we want them to see of us on Facebook. But here's the deal, and I say this all the time. I am on Facebook first and foremost as a business tool. Yes, I have an absolutely great time there socializing, reconnecting with old friends. I've sponsored people onto my team that I've known since childhood through Facebook. So I definitely, I get that. But at the same time, why not give those people an opportunity too? As long as you are sharing very authentically, you're not being super hypey, and you're doing so in a way that creates curiosity, that's exactly what you're going to get with some of your real life friends too. Now, obviously, if you have a boss or you have a job where it can get you in trouble, well, of course you need to be careful about that too. But it's like anything. I feel like if you're sharing it authentically and with, good intent and in a way that brings value, so that even if someone said, well, I'm not really interested in that, but wow, she did a good job, well, then that's a coup. So it's good. Is it productive to do both at the same time? Yes, if you can manage it. I recommend kind of doing a test run first of doing Periscope and Facebook at the same time. Definitely do a test run first where you have them set up simultaneous and just let people know, hey, I'm doing a little test here. This is what our topic's going to be, but it's going to be kind of loose. And maybe I'm just going to talk to you about, maybe your topic is using Periscope and Facebook Live simultaneously. And keep it really short when you test it out for the first time so that, you're not rambling on and losing your audience. Because what you don't want to do is go in too early and be ineffective because you're struggling trying to get equipment set up and that type thing, and then you lose your audience, some of whom never come back. Because that saying, you have 7 seconds to make a first impression. Some of these people you're going to be making a first impression with, especially when you're launching on that platform for the first time. So I would probably recommend doing each of them individually to really get the format down and get comfortable with it. And then once you do that, then get yourself prepared, know what you need to do, and then sure, why not? Why not do it simultaneously? Give it a try. Be willing to have fun with yourself. That's a big part of it too. Just be willing to laugh at yourself and have fun. Again, you're not auditioning for American Idol. You're just in your home or wherever, at the park, wherever you are, just having a conversation. And that's really the most important thing. So good. Glad that was helpful, and hope to see you on both platforms broadcasting out there. Okay, any other questions before we say sayonara for today's scope? Anybody? Give it a sec here to see if anything else comes in, and if not, we will call it a day. All right, thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate it. The replay will be up. Anybody watching the replay, I appreciate you as well. If you want to share this out to your followers, would love that, and I will see you on the next scope. Have a great day.